This movie's horny as shit.
Their assholes are always out. It's insane.
Airtight, awesome.
I'm psychic in many ways.
That guy's had like 3 sandwiches this week. Let's fucking kill him.
That was, in a word, insane.
Welcome to Critical Darlings live in color.
In Technicolor.
Technicolor. I'm Maxim Foster.
I'm Clayton Chalman.
And this is Critical Darlings. This is a podcast.
It's a freaking podcast.
It's a freaking where we talk about the best movies we've ever seen.
The coolest and the greatest and the goodest
movies
ever.
We're two boyos who live and love in Austin.
Oh my god, we're boyos. We're like doggos. It's
We're
we're
the best thing
doggos.
ever.
We're boys. Good
Yeah.
old boys. No, not good old. No.
Jesus Christ!
Hey.
You can't say anything these days without it being.
Hey, come on.
Jesus. So we've been doing this podcast for approximately about a year, but only audio, right?
Yes, we've not incorporated a video element in it. And so if you're watching this, you're making history. You're helping us make podcast
Congratulations. Have you seen the video of Debbie Ryan being like, I went to the CEO of Disney and I said I want to make history. And that's what this is. Have you seen that?
For Jesse?
Yes. I think it was like because she wanted to have like an on-screen wedding for Jesse, and it's like that was never happened Disney Channel, even though I don't think it's a huge. It makes history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like Jesse?
As a kid, I remember it was like at the point, it came late enough into my life that I was like, I guess I'll watch this, but it was never something I was going to like tune into. You know?
I feel like for both of us, it was like our kind of transition period because we were like growing up, probably stopping watching Disney Channel and stuff, but it was still there. It was one of those things where I was like, you know, still young enough to where like it would make sense if I was watching it, but it would kind of be embarrassing if I told people I was watching it.
Yeah, it's also just, I think I had a bit of a crush on Ms. Debbie Ryan.
No way, you had a lot of Disney
Sweet
crushes.
Life on Deck.
Oh God.
Yeah. She's pretty.
The best.
She's the best and the baddest.
Clayton, who are you?
Me, I'm kind of a comedian. I'm kind of a little freak. I'm kind of a little weirdo.
You are. You should see his BDSM tests.
Oh my gosh. We all took the BDSM tests and the rice purity tests. And on both of them, mine were like, you're a
freak.
Yeah, you're a fucking weirdo.
Like we all guessed what each other's scores were, and everyone knew exactly which ones Clayton's were. Except he beat me, you beat me.
Yeah, Max
for
and I,
lowest
we're
score.
kind of the two whores of the group, I think.
I think we like actually are fully.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the most important thing I am on this podcast is I'm kind of a critic.
I feel like this first episode is going to be us like discovering our on-screen personas for the podcast. You're like a pirate, and mine's kind of like Jim from The Office. Ugh.
Oh yeah, we can if we're looking and one of us makes a bad joke, we can go.
It's like, are we trying to be authentic? Are we trying to be? Who knows?
I'll do whatever for money.
For $100.
I'll do whatever to make. Not even money. We're not making any money right now. I'll do whatever for attention.
Yeah. Clayton's also actually wearing a what are they called?
Butt plug.
Yeah, Clayton, because he's the freak of the group.
I'm the freak. I kind of like wake up. I fucking
when I wake up,
put a butt plug in.
I put a butt plug in my ass. I put it. Yeah. But I'm a darling. All right. And a darling versus a critic, what is it? You know?
Well, it's like, so me and Max here, we're both, and we'll say this much, there's a duality in both of us. We're both critical darlings.
A yin and a yang.
But I definitely bring the critic to this podcast in that I am a lot more critical of the movies I watch and a little bit, I'm a little bit of a miserly at points. Max, though, he's here.
I like everything I watch. I give 5 stars to everything on my letterbox. Go.
Many times there will be movies where I don't think either of us necessarily think a movie is good, but when we get to the scoring,
I'm always like, well,
Max is like,
yeah.
well, that's a 7 or 8, and I'm like, that's a 2 or a 3.
And I'll spend the entire movie being like, that was horrible, this was bad, this was offensive, this was that, and I'd be like, but at the end of the day, I mean, it was still art. Fart the movie is still art.
No.
But guys, we've been
Straight
talking
up,
about
no.
straight up, no. We've covered you want to be like about 40, approximately like 40 movies now.
More than that.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this is going to be episode, I think, 45?
And we did like 7 movies for Paranormal
We did
Activity,
7
2 for
yeah.
Matrix. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
God, yeah. So at least
Crazy.
like 50 movies. And so we have been doing it for so long. We ranked them all. We decided our worst movie that we had watched out of in a whole year, and that of course went to
Master of Disguise.
Master of Disguise. Truly, like the worst movie I feel like I've ever seen.
Pistachio Disguisey has done it again.
He's back
What would
at
you do
it.
if you met Pistachio Disguisey in real life?
I would probably be really scared, like terrified.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even if he was just Dana Carvey, like he wasn't in a disguise.
I'd be really scared.
So Max has a week
I'll be
back.
right.
Oh, Max is going to be right back.
I forgot I have my Red Bull.
He's back. He's got his Red Bull. Max, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah.
Have you eaten any plastic this week?
Well, thank you for asking. Just a couple days ago, I ate plastic for the first time in my life. Definitely recommend it. Threw up 5 times. Long story. I didn't do it on purpose, but once I started, you can't stop. And it's a very slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I threw up terribly. And but that was probably the first time I've thrown up in like years. Honestly, I don't really throw up very much. I try to avoid it. And it was horrible, but it was tasty.
It was yummy. You can deny and a taste.
Have you eaten plastic?
I don't think I've ever eaten plastic. No.
Microplastics.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
I eat my microplastic. What's the deal with that?
I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, you eat a credit card's worth of microplastics every year. Yeah, well, you also eat 50 spiders every night, you freak.
What are you supposed? So is microplastics bad?
Yes. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
In theory.
Okay,
I mean,
but like, I feel like if I ate a credit card once a year, I feel like I'd probably be fine.
yeah, and I'm alive if I've been eating like 50 credit cards every goddamn day.
Yeah, if you're spreading it out. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, it's like having a normal credit card.
You
Spread
just,
it out.
but you did bite into a macroplastic.
No, yeah, it was not a micro. It was a full-on macro.
Yeah.
It was like a roll of plastic. It was a lot of plastic. I didn't do it on... Okay, so everyone probably...
Max
so,
was pulling a fucking magician sleeve trick
yeah.
out of this chicken.
I was just starving. I found saran wrap. Ate the first thing I had. No, I was eating chicken, and there was plastic in the chicken. It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm hopefully going to win that lawsuit. I won't say against who, but... Honey, if you think you put plastic in your chicken, your days are fucking numbered.
Yeah, no, truly, like, yeah, I feel like you could get, like, big money from
I
it.
honestly could. Like,
You ingested plastic.
and I threw up, and it, like, ruined, like, 2 days of my life. Yeah, like, normally I'd be like, it's fine. But when you told me that last night, that I could probably sue, I was like, I mean, why couldn't I?
Yeah.
And we're moving soon. I need that money. I need a lot of money for that down payment deposit. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been hanging out. I've
damn
been
it.
swinging around.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of. Well, we'll get to that in a
Oh,
little
yeah.
segment we have.
Yeah.
Max.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little segment we like to do on here. Well, Max, he thinks he's a psychic.
Yeah. I consider myself a right psychic.
Yes.
And I can read dreams because I'm an English major. I can interpret things really well. And I just love to
Is it
read
because
people's
you're a
dreams.
psychic or because you're an English major?
I think the twine do meet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so usually we'll like to come in and just we'll talk about what dreams we've had, and
Yeah.
then Max will give meaning to them. He will
Yeah.
interpret them.
Well, I will, dissect the meaning within them. I don't put it on them. But
Mhm.
yeah.
The one I had this week I think is ripe for interpretation.
Okay.
But
I'm scared.
I was a spy, and it was like a family business thing, and my dad was killed by somebody. And I was like I gotta get the guy who did this. And it was like a classic, like very like Marvel twist, I feel like. I got to the guy who did it, and I unmasked him, and it was my dad. And he had... I don't understand mechanically in the world of that how that was working.
Yeah.
But my dad killed my dad in Spy World.
It's obvious to me. So you're spies. Spies famously are undercover.
Mm-hmm.
They have to live kind of a double life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a family affair. Your entire family lives this certain way, lives a certain life, lives a certain lifestyle that forces you all to not be your true selves. You're hiding a part of yourself. And your father tried to escape that life, by faking his own death so he could escape it. It's like obvious to me.
It's like...
Does that make sense though?
Yeah. I get it.
Do you think I'm right?
Yes.
So I have been doing this thing where I like throw up a lot. Well, mostly just last night, and because of all the plastic I was eating.
Because of the plastic.
And I was like going in and out of, because when like you're in the process of like just being sick for like 12 hours, your life is just kind of like delirious. You're like floating, much like Zuko in season 2 of Avatar,
Zuko.
where I really thought about this. Anytime I'm sick, I just think about Iroh putting that rag on Zuko and being like, this is a moment in your life where you're like at a crossroads and you're changing, and then there's the 2 dragons within him. It's like evil, good, and he's like, you know what I'm talking about, like that whole segment of the show.
For sure.
That's how I felt, not last night but the night before. And I had this one dream. I don't remember anything about it, but it was such that it was one of those dreams that you wake up and you think it's real. And you're like, my life is forever changed. Because even though my life has been nothing like this up until now, suddenly I'm like someone who's like in a beauty pageant and I'm being poisoned or something. Like that's suddenly what my life is. And I wake up and that's my reality. And then you're like, oh, wait, no. Okay, no, I'm fine. And that relief that comes with... Isn't that insane that like our brains fucking do that?
Yeah.
Mind over matter.
That it's like, you're going to go to sleep for a little bit, and just to keep your mind going, you have fucking cancer.
Yeah, and everyone you know hates you, and you're getting private emails from RuPaul saying that he hates you himself.
Did you dream that?
That's a nightmare that I had. Like, it was like an email, like a Gmail email with a photo of RuPaul in the little profile, and it was like RuPaulCharles@gmail.com. It was like, you have betrayed our community, period. I like woke up and I was like,
from the fracker.
Rights of all people. The fracking. It's a reference. So, Clayton, another segment we do. We do a lot of segments on this podcast.
There's
Move on.
segments. Get over it.
We'll talk about the movie eventually. But,
You'll
Clayton.
See. We don't.
What media? That would be so funny. The episodes are just titled like movies, but
we watched, but we don't really discuss them.
Yeah, we did watch them, but
it's like like doing an improv scene and everybody's thinking of a bird.
Yes, God. If you don't get that reference, that makes sense because maybe 10 people have seen that video on YouTube.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good luck trying to find our hidden improv videos. Media that you've been watching. Things you've been watching that were not the movie we watched yesterday. What is it? What have you been liking?
I have been watching Atlanta, and it's fucking great. It's
good.
So good. There's an episode in season 2 where Donald Glover puts on whiteface.
Yes.
And it's like...
What's his name? Terry Perkins?
Teddy Perkins.
Teddy Perkins.
In like all of the episodes, there will often be like hints of like the supernatural and like weird stuff.
That's right.
This is the first episode where it's like full on a horror.
My God, that's so scary.
Yeah, it's really fucked up and it's
That's
awesome.
so
and
scary.
everybody who's making the show is like so good. If you just for those who are unfamiliar, just look up Teddy Perkins to see Donald Glover in like pounds of white face makeup.
But
It's
honestly,
horrifying.
like that's what I would love my drag to be like as horrifying and scary as Teddy Perkins. Like so scary. God.
He would be a
but
great
it's so
drag
cool.
look.
That would be really cool. No, I love how like kind of a side effect of the golden age of TV, like now that there's like so many TV shows and everyone can make their own TV show, is like that creatives can take like these big swings like that.
Yeah.
That like in the like, if we were still like in the sitcom era, I feel like that wouldn't swing as much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's like you just have something on like a streaming service that you know it won't get canceled necessarily, like you already promised 3 seasons, so in the middle of the second season you can do something freaky and weird. It's awesome. It's really cool. Like it's just great. Or any shows that have like episodes like completely dedicated to like a side character or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's it's one of the side characters who's in the mansion with Teddy Perkins. It's great. Everybody watch Atlanta. Lakeith Stanfield is so good.
Oh my god. This guy, we were watching some movie in a film class, and we were talking about it the next day, and then I had added this guy on Instagram who was in the class, and he came out to me by constantly texting me about how hot Lakeith Stanfield was. Like, he'd be like, "Wow, Lakeith is so hot, isn't he?" And he started like sending me a bunch of posts by Lakeith's like Instagram, and eventually it got to the point where it was like borderline harassment. Like it was like, okay, like I understand.
To harass you with somebody else is very fun.
Yeah. Because it's like it was such mixed feelings. Like I was being bombarded with Lakeith photos, but Lakeith is a great and handsome and wonderful actor, and so I was like, "Is it good?" It's like drowning. It's like water's good, too much of it. I watched the first 20 minutes of Victor Victoria. Very good.
What's that?
It's this insane movie. Not insane. It's based on this like
Okay, well, don't
musical-
oversell that.
It's just crazy. I've only seen like 20 minutes of it. But I started it when I was like throwing up, and then I fell asleep watching it. But it's Julie Andrews as a woman pretending to be a man dressing up as a woman, like to be a female impersonator. And she's like a cabaret singer. It's really good. I've seen a bunch of clips from it. I've just never seen the actual movie, and I tried to watch it, but you know, when you throw up, things don't work like that. This is going to be a very, very puke-centered episode. It's kind of what's on my mind right now.
When's the best time you throwed up? Max, should we maybe...
Well, I've never thrown up anywhere outside of my own bathroom, so I'll just say that. Other people probably have. I've never done that.
Me have. As a little treat to these people that are watching this, should we do them a huge favor and talk about what movie we watched?
Of course. Every week on this podcast, typically the whole gimmick of this podcast is that we ambush each other with crazy movies and watch them. It's always a surprise to us which one we give the other. But this week we thought for our first Technicolor episode that we would cover a classically bad movie, which is, of course, The Last Airbender, written, produced, and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, as he says at the very beginning of the end credits.
Yeah, do you think he regrets putting that there?
I don't know. Do you think he regrets this movie? I wonder. I might see if I try to find it.
He has to. It's like he's had... critically acclaimed, but then again, he's had so many like panned movies that I wonder if he's not just like they were good actually,
and if he just is like, if sometimes he makes them just kind of to make money, which honestly I don't think is a bad thing necessarily. You know, if you're good at your art and you want to make money, make your damn money. But as long as you don't acknowledge that you think it's a good movie. If you acknowledge that it's a bad movie that was just made for money, then yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, 100%.
God. And it came out during Pride Month. It came out 10, 12 years ago. Crazy.
He did that on purpose. He had
my God. It's widely considered to be one of the worst films ever made. Well, I don't know if I would call it that, because there were some parts that were still okay. But again, it's impossible for, I feel like, us to separate the show from this movie. And it seems like it's also impossible for the movie to separate itself from the show, too. Because I feel like if you watched the movie first, you would have no idea really what's happening.
Yeah, it's truly like it is. If you have seen the show, you are going to hate the movie, and if you have not seen the show, you are fucked. You're not going to get anything that's happening.
Nothing at all. Yeah, it doesn't say that anything. I wanted to see if I could find that he didn't like the movie, but looks like they don't say nothing about it. But let's just get right into it. The opening crawl, like in the show, where it's like long ago the four nations lived in peace.
Long ago, the four nations lived in harmony.
Harmony and peace, or whatever. So in the show, that is written out, and it's well done and stuff.
Yes.
And the movie could have literally just taken that from the show, ripped it from the show, and just done the same thing. But for no reason, they chose to like add a bunch of sentences, change a bunch of the words, and then, of course, egregiously do the first of many terrible pronunciations in calling the Avatar the Avatar.
The Avatar.
And it's impossible not to notice.
Yeah.
Because even when you're not pronouncing Avatar in the context of the Last Airbender TV show, the word Avatar still exists in the English language. Like, it's still like a word, Avatar. It existed before the show. So, the correct pronunciation of the word Avatar is Avatar. Why do you change? There's no need to change it. Like, I may be totally wrong about that, but why does it matter if it's a fictitious world that doesn't exist and is not real?
Yeah, he's made a lot of attempts to like culturally correct things, but I don't think, because a lot of the names I don't believe are like traditional names that have necessarily like a right way to pronounce them. Right.
As far as I know, I was a huge fan growing up the show. I followed like Korra so much. I feel like I would know this. Like if they had mentioned it, like if these names were specific names that were taken from specific cultures, like intentionally, then yeah, for sure, change them. Like, yeah, definitely.
And so there's so many names in here, like Aang, Sokka, Iroh, that is just like, none of those like necessarily sound bad. It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
It's a little bit, it's just like, they make these changes kind of knowing that there is a very active fan base that they were probably going to piss off.
And like that was even early on. So I don't even think it was done with the intention. Like I didn't think that he was going to think that he was going to get like woke points. Because I don't think that people like even really considered that back then.
Maybe he was, I don't know, maybe he really just, and he's the director, so he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and he has $1 billion now. But dude, come on, man.
He surely doesn't. He has a lot of commercial failures under his belt, like a lot.
Yeah. Do you like Signs?
I love Signs.
I love Signs too. Like that one scene.
Which one?
One scene where it's like they're at the party, and there's like there's like a video of aliens at like a birthday party.
Yes.
And the aliens like walk through the alleyway, like fucking.
My
terrifying.
favorite is there's a scene they're on the hood of the car and the radio thing is starting to work and it doesn't work. So they'll put their hands on each other because of the power of love. That's the power of love.
And then they're in the sewer, and then the kid's like Clayton's character.
I did my character real quick.
Where
I just got to do my character a little bit.
The kid's like in the sewer grate, and then the alien hand's like.
Yeah, the aliens are fucking scary in Signs. Signs is great.
Unbreakable
is great. Signs, Sixth Sense.
He said
Lady
that
in the
people.
Water.
Sound of Water?
Lady in the Water.
What is that one?
It's about M. Night Shyamalan, how he's the most special, most important person in the world.
Is that true?
It's about like, I believe M. Night Shyamalan is in it, but it's about like somebody named the writer who can save the world by writing his special stories. And there's like film critics in it, and they're like, these stories suck. I'm gonna go shit my pants, and then they die.
Guys, is Clayton lying?
I'm being.
I also like
100%. I'm maybe being a little facetious at parts, but like it's basically that.
I kind of zoned out when you were. I was like thinking about other Avatar stuff, And before I realized it, I wasn't even listening to what he was saying. He was saying. It's like the audience is here.
You don't know?
The Avatar. So then the bending looks terrible as well.
Oh my god, the bending looks so fucking... Like, the bending in the show, it's just like so explosive on, like, every movement is like
It's
connected to
gorgeous.
some sort of impact on the elements.
Completely.
But like the way that bending is animated, I said this yesterday too, but like Sokka could truly just solo any bender because they're going to be doing a 2-minute choreographed dance to get one bit of their element to slowly float over to somebody.
Literally Doctor Strange looking shit.
Like truly, like if you are deciding that you were going to fight with bending, like you have already lost.
And then just like a little bit of water comes out of this fucking bottle.
Yeah, it's insane.
And they also did this new cool fun thing where firebenders can't create fire from their hands. They
which
have
is
to,
stupid.
which is insane. Which like firebenders only can bend existing fire, like in a fire pit or a candle. Oh my god! Or a torch. And the fire of the Christ,
Max
Passion of the Christ.
So used to churches burning. That's the only way he knows them.
Guilty me. But it's so weird. It just like totally nerfs the Fire Nation because anytime Fire Nation like suddenly runs into frame, it's kind of like I'm not scared of them at all. Because in a world where waterbenders have their element everywhere and earthbenders literally have their element everywhere and firebenders don't, it's just like, why are they a threat? Like they're like, oh no, just put the candle out and then they're fine. It's crazy. It's just so insane.
Because it's
non-threatening.
Like air, earth, and water are things that you could find most places, and waterbenders can very easily, like Katara carries that little vial on her.
Exactly,
she
yeah.
stays strapped. So
and
she
then
can
later we
whip
find
the
out
water
about
out.
blood bending and shit and sweat and stuff.
Yeah. And then firebend is like the access to fire throughout the world is kind of stupid. And this leads to like some, to give credit where credit is due, some little cool things they do to make sure that firebenders are able. There's a point where there's like a raid and they shoot like these big catapult balls of fire that land in.
Yeah, that was cool.
So that the firebenders have like a source to be bending from. Mm-hmm. That is cool. But ultimately, it's just like these are supposed to be the people that like stomped like every other nation.
Yeah.
And just conquered everybody
because they abused their power. Like, and it's just like, also they're like they kind of restructure the film, or restructure maybe the Fire Nation's like I don't know, like the purpose for imperializing the whole world. Because like in the show, like Sozin is like, wow, you know, we have so much power, we should share our wealth with the world, you know, we need to expand and stuff. But in this movie, Katara's grandma is like, the Fire Nation is not connected with spirits, and the spirits are the reason that the Fire Nation is so corrupt, because they need to be reminded of their spirits. So Aang is kind of like doing that and trying to restore the spirits to the world, which I mean is like part of the show, but just feels so weird because it would just be so much more I don't know, a better message if the Fire Nation is literally like imperialists and they're like they just are hungry for power, which is real in the world.
Because they basically still are,
right?
But we don't get that in like they don't really deliver on that in any way. And then also, so this is a big thing. You probably know about this. A lot of the characters are whitewashed.
Yeah.
In this movie, everybody from the water tribes, all white. All of the air nomads, mostly white. A lot of the earthbenders that we see are white.
Yeah.
Not as egregiously. The one nation that is entirely made of people of color are, of course, the evil ones.
Yeah, it sits very weirdly watching it.
Yeah.
It really just does. Like I'm sure that was not the intention. And like I'm sure maybe there's more to the story than we know, but on screen it just doesn't look very good. It especially with all the corrections of the names and stuff, it just is like, I don't know why they felt the need to change that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't make me happy. And also the acting. Listen, when I was a child, I wasn't a good actor. Hey.
No.
But it was kind of comical at some times.
It was pretty ridiculous.
The delivery of some of the lines.
Yeah.
It was just like it was passionately impassive, like so intentionally flat. It seems like a choice.
There was a lot of like like stuff is blowing up, so then Katara runs up and it's Ung.
It'd be like M. Night was like, okay, run up and like actually look really emotional. Then when you say his name, just give like no emotion at all. She's like, got it.
Zuko is here.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, which is crazy because we know this is what frustrates me.
Yeah,
like it's like M. Night he has the sauce, right?
The sauce.
He's worked like on The Sixth Sense. He gets like one of the best child actor performances of all time out of Haley Joel Osment, and then seemingly showed up to this and didn't give a fuck.
Which is why my hunch is that he truly was just like, okay, I know this will make money, and he's like, you know what? I guess I'm just gonna just make money, and that's all that matters.
Do we know if it made money?
It did. It said it made 319 worldwide million, and on a budget of 150 million.
Fuck it.
So that's something. Everybody getting something. For that obscure SNL reference from 10 years ago. Anybody else? Exactly. Moving on. They tried to fit an entire season of television into an hour and 45 minutes. They tried to fit 7 hours into an hour and 45. And I admit season 1, there's probably the most filler there, but still not a lot. But, I mean, even if you strip away the filler and get just the bare bones stuff, I would say you probably need, like, 3 hours to, like, really do it enough justice.
Yeah, because we do, just going the episodes we cover, we start, obviously, Boy in the Iceberg, and we're doing the village raid, the Fire Nation comes, they, like...
Yeah. And about that, they see Aang in the iceberg, they see him laying down on the ground, and they're like, whoa. And then smash cut to him being completely alive, totally fine.
Like up and moving in the village.
Yeah, moving around. He was not cold at all. And he was just like, I have to go now. And Katara was like, what's your name? Or something. And it was like, what? Like, where? The pacing. Yeah. Boy in the Iceberg.
Boy in the Iceberg at the village. They capture Aang. He's on the boat. He breaks out. First, truly so early in the movie. 5-10 minutes of the movie, maybe.
Completely.
And then they go straight to the Southern Air Temple.
Oh yeah, they literally go there. We've seen Aang on screen for maybe 2.5 minutes. They go to the Southern Air Temple where he sees all the dead airbenders, and in the show, crazy powerful moment. We're crying. We're sad. I think it's like the 4th episode or something.
Yes, it's very early on.
So by now, I feel like in the show we've seen Aang for like an hour on screen or whatever,
And we're really learning a lot about him. That there's, he's this happy-go-lucky child, but there's really like pain underneath, and he's having to reckon with the fact that like. He is the last of his kind after a genocide. At this one, we've seen him just a little bit. He shows up to this place. We really don't know the kid. And they're like, okay, we got to make this so fast. What are the 2 things that happen here? Meet Momo, everybody's dead. And so quickly they show up and they're like, whoa. And they're like, oh my gosh, a flying lemur. And then Momo's with them. And then Aang walks like 20 feet to his left, and he's like, oh, everybody's dead. Immediately goes into the Avatar state.
Yeah. And he's like, whoa, this amulet belonged to Monkey Gyatso. Like, it's crazy. It's like, okay, like, yeah, but damn, like, Jesus Christ. And again, this is like the 5th time we've seen him talk at all. So it's not it's not like in the show we're like so surprised that he's so sad and emotional. Like it's really hard for us to watch this happy little child be so sad. But in the show, as far as we know, this is like a normal emotion for him to be completely sad and go into this crazy avatar state. And of course, Katara comes through with that impassive voice, being like, "Ong, no, it's okay.
We're gonna hang out with you, Ong.
Don't worry, we're fine.
Hey, chill out, bro."
And Ong's like, "Okay."
He's like, "Okay, we'll do."
Sorry, Katara. Oh, sorry, that was so weird of me.
And then,
anyway, let's go rescue these people who are in an Earth village and told that we can't earthbend because all these firebenders who only have one fireplace to firebend from are telling us earthbenders who are standing on solid ground that we can't earthbend.
It's like the firebenders are outnumbered, the earthbenders are around Earth for so long, and it also like Aang basically just shows up and they're all just like, "Oh, we're surrendered," and Aang is like, "Earthbenders, fight back," and they're like, "Oh, yeah," and
literally
they just whoop the firebenders' ass.
Imagine, Matt, you have been like 100 years ago, this imperialist nation who's not connected with the spirits. Sorry. Okay, so you have been in a village, trapped in your own village for 50 years, told by the Fire Nation that you can't earthbend at all, and then this child comes up to you who is like 12 years old and is like, "You guys, there's earth all around you. What are you doing, you lazy fucks, you idiots? You stupid idiots. What are you doing, you lazy pieces of shit?" And you're all like, "Oh my god, that's right." So then 7 of you are like, "Together!" And you all earthbend and lift up one rock that you could have picked up with your hand. And then throw it at a Fire Nation guard 10 feet away. And
he does not move.
Yeah, he's like, ooh. It's awesome. It's just so like you can see all of the acting going on without the bending. Like you can see that how they were all acting around the bending, the CGI bending, because when the CGI bending is added in post, it's horrible. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Aang whoops the fire, but he kicks the firebenders out of the village.
Yeah.
What episode is next from that?
I have no idea.
Because then I know pretty soon they do the Blue Spirit.
They do which is insane.
It's insane that they're like, "Yeah, we have time for this."
They do the Blue Spirit. Yeah, Aang gets captured because he goes to the northern.
Yes, the Northern Air Temple.
Then he gets captured.
Somebody
Zuko saves him as the Blue Spirit, and then we meet Zhao. And the long story short, they get to the Northern Water Tribe.
Yes.
Which, honestly, from the Northern Water Tribe on is pretty good. Like,
yeah, I mean, I would say it's still pretty bad.
Still bad, but yeah,
it's a lot better, and there are like good parts. Which
Critic,
is
Darlingz.
insane.
Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it's just like 100 miles a minute, just so much shit.
And we need to talk about how Princess Yue is the pick-me girl of pick-me girls.
Okay, so this was happening while we were watching it. Max kept saying this, and I gotta say, I have no idea what he's talking about.
Do you know what a pick-me girl is?
Kind of. It's
just
like putting other girls down because they want to be...
Yeah, a little bit. But I actually, no, I think that is exactly what it is. But the way I guess I was thinking of it is like, she just thinks she's so special. Like, Sokka's like, you know...
princess.
Okay, that just blows her, like, blows smoke up her ass. Like, her ego is inflated. So Princess Yue is such just a little snowflake. Sorry, I'll say it. She's like walking with Sokka, and Sokka's like, when I introduce you to my dad, he'll be like, "Why is your hair white?" And she was like, "Well, my hair was white because when I was born, I was asleep because the moon spirit chose me. And then she turned my hair white, and then they put me in water. And one day I'm going to become the moon spirit, and I'm just so special." And it's like, Sokka literally just made one comment, and she talks about herself for 2 minutes straight. And it's like, girl... You don't even know his name. You don't even know where he's from. You don't know who he is. You are just begging to tell people about your special story about how you're going to become the moon spirit. And then, of course, the second the moon spirit dies, she's like, I'll do it. And then she does. She dies for the moon spirit. God.
Yeah.
It's just annoying to me. You met her.
I met her, Seychelle Gabriel. She was really cool. It was on the set of a movie.
Sorry, Jesus.
I mean, I can't stand the slander for her. You hate her so much. I love her.
Yeah,
I fell in love at the set of a movie.
Clayton was in a movie with her. What movie was it?
It was on the. I was a featured extra.
Extra.
On Bloodfest. It was a Rooster Teeth movie. It wasn't very good. But Seychelle, if you're watching, it's not your fault, baby.
Also voices Asami in Korra.
Yes.
Amazing.
Max, with that, do you want to start getting into some little segments here?
I think we
I
should.
actually have a new segment.
Brilliant.
For video stuff specifically. And I think what I'm planning on doing is putting putting the video of this on the video. Just edit it in.
Love it.
But this is from an interview with M. Night Shyamalan. Him talking
Brilliant.
about the movie. So this is M. Night on Larry King.
Exciting.
Yes. If it loads.
I've got you in my space. I won't let go of you. No.
Fuck you. I fall for it every fucking time. I was so excited. I was like, yeah, we're going to edit it into the video and it's going to be like a cool integrated thing.
I've never done it from the computer before.
How does that feel?
It feels good.
Soundboard moment?
I knew I had to do it this episode because we were going to have your video reaction.
Now I've got you. Also, I didn't even do my makeup for this episode.
Yeah, I fucking burned you yesterday.
Burn. It hurts like hell. Yeah.
What were you saying? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Oh, that was a joke. Like,
Oh.
yeah, that just happened naturally. Actually, before we get into other segments, I want to ask you some questions.
Ooh, yeah.
What kind of bender would you be?
I actually were thinking about this yesterday. I think I would be a firebender. It would definitely be either fire or water because those are the
I'm
two
sorry,
that are
I literally
more-
just got a text of someone telling me they want to munch on my ass.
and that's more important than what I was.
I just couldn't focus on what you were saying because
Was this one of our roommates?
yeah. It was your boyfriend. I need to like recenter myself. I need to put my mind back on God.
Yeah, getting digitally ass munched has got to throw you off.
Do you think Jesus had his ass ate?
Probably.
Do you think it reeked?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was always getting it washed everywhere he went.
Well, he was always fucking walking on water. He never took a fucking bath.
No.
He hated taking baths so much that he learned how to walk on water.
He was walking on water, but he could do it. It was actually because his skin is like duck skin. He's covered in oil, and it just runs right off him.
Water off a duck's back.
Water.
So, fire or water?
Yeah, we were talking. It was either fire or water because those are the two that are like ruled by emotions. And I like. I really go back and forth.
Me too. I'm the exact same way. Because passion comes from fire is passion, but flexibility and emotion, like and
Yeah,
your more
I
sensitive
think
emotions.
overall the one that like because like obviously like fire is like creativity and like output, and I feel like I am really connected to that. But I think the one that like really rules who I am and how I operate is probably more water. I in just that I try to be very caring and take care of my friends and bend and flex to what they would like.
True.
Because I love my friends.
I think I was water in the past, but I'm fire now. Like I've grown into fire, which is the most overpowered element.
Oh, yeah.
Which one? Which one?
Oh, you're asking
Yes.
me. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying fire, which is the most overpowered. And I was ready to accept that. However, I
I think I disagree. Yeah.
I don't think it's fire. I think there are two pretty strong contenders here, which are earth, because you're shaping like you're able to make such insane shit. You're able to launch like huge boulders.
Completely.
If we're just talking about normal,
I I wouldn't say
like,
normal. I feel like
base,
like
where it can go.
Yeah, where it can go for consider that
like,
for sure.
This feels almost because like so few benders can do this, but blood bending,
feels
just there's almost no like the fact that the bad guy of the first season of Korra was just a blood bender. Like not even like he didn't have like special powers or anything. It was just a blood bender.
Yeah.
And most people couldn't do shit to him. They had to like prank his ass to get him at all.
Literally, they had to expose him.
Yeah.
God, Korra's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And if you disagree, you're misunderstood.
Good luck, Charlie.
Come to the good side. Yeah, Charlie from Good Luck Charlie probably hates Korra.
Yeah.
Probably a Republican too.
I actually asked
because that whole family is. Well, no, actually no. I take that back because there were those gay moms on the show, and the mom was really cool about it.
That's true.
That's very big
moment. Probably a white liberal, I think. I think she's very much like.
And you know, sometimes we have to compromise, and
she
sometimes
loves Joe Biden. Yeah.
Good luck, America.
Good luck, Charlie.
But you think water is probably I kind of agree. Because Earth, though, like, if you could be, like, either a lava bender or a metal bender, very, very big contenders for very powerful. But,
I mean, like even regular Earth is fucking insane.
Because, I mean, Earth is, like, the one where, similar with fire, but, like, you could straight up just kill someone with just the base Earth power. Like, you could just, like, throw a rock at someone, concussion,
because, like, if you're splashing somebody with water, it's like, no matter how much water you're doing, it's like, okay, Earth, you just need to just really send one out and you obliterate somebody's bone.
Yeah, exactly. And and I would love to be a metal bender. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Also, the metal benders, all of what's her name, Su Yin from season 3 of Korra, hot. She's hot. Husband's hot. All of her kids are hot. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. What was your episode ranking for the TV show? You lost yours. That's right.
Yeah, I didn't have mine.
Oh,
but I would love to go through yours and kind of give thoughts where I have them. So the number one, I feel like I 100% know my number one.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe it's different.
What is yours?
Maybe I'm omitting something from memory. However, I believe my number one, by a long shot, is Sozin's Comet 3.
Fucking very good.
The one with the Agni Kai.
Yes.
Truly just so good.
God. Oh my god. Because that Sozin's Comet 3 also opens with Azula like seeing her mom like in the mirror and like throwing it and going crazy, cutting her hair, and oh my god. And then the Phoenix King and Azula becoming Fire Lord, and oh my god.
Yeah.
God, it just... Oh my god, it's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't think I chose a number one. I just had like my S tier.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to hear.
But I feel like if I did, I think my tops are Zuko Alone, the beach episode, and Sozin's 3. Yeah, Sozin's Comet 3.
Yeah.
Other S tier include Jet. Very great episode. Tale of Two Lovers. I just love that one.
Is Jet the first Jet episode?
Yes, very first one. Yeah, season 1, episode 10.
It's really good.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like, is like Jet's like a nice foil to both Sokka and Aang. I also love Tales of Ba Sing Se so much. Because like the whole season's like so plot heavy, and then this one episode is just, it's cool. Appa's Lost Days. I talked a lot about this yesterday while we were watching it. Just the fact that the show loves all of its characters so much and wants to give development to all of its characters so much that it gives Appa development. Like, it gives him flashbacks to... Like, when he's at the air temple and I'm literally going to cry. When he's, like, biting the railing that all the baby bison used to... I can't even do it. And then he, like, coughs out the dust and... He's like sad that I might just go rewatch that because that makes me want to fucking cry. Oh my god,
it's really good.
The beach, of course, so good.
Beach is great.
Also proves that Azula is gay, like completely proves because of the way that she's like jealous of Ty Lee and everything. And yeah, Southern Raiders, the one with Katara going back to find the guy who killed her mom.
Yes,
God, and then choosing not to kill him but not to forgive him. Amazing.
So her stopping the rain is so iconic.
God. Oh my god, and like the kind of devil and angel of like Zuko and Aang, kind of like on her shoulder, and then her choosing like the middle ground, you know, to choose her own way of how to come over that recovery. Whew. And that's how she like forgives Zuko as well for being like part of the Fire Nation too. Oh my god, so good. Sozins 3 and Sozins 4 is also. I just feel like
Sozins 4 is great too.
As far as finales go, a lot of finales just don't live up to the rest of the show, which is fine, you know. But Sozins Comet 4 fucking does, especially that last scene where they're all together and and Sokka's like painting the painting and Toph's like, I think everyone looks perfect, and May is like, I look like a man, and then they kiss, and then it's like the end.
Yeah, so good.
Oh my god.
It's the greatest show ever. It's so good.
And worst episode is The Fortune Teller. You forgot about it? Good.
Yeah, that was because I was trying to think of what my least favorite episodes were yesterday, and I knew that the two of the episodes that I don't like. Also, Sokka's Master is a great episode.
Oh, great episode. Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, I know I don't like the Great Divide, and I don't like the Painted Lady.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to figure out what other episode Max was talking about that he doesn't like, and I just looked at the episodes and I was like, well, I truly have no fucking clue what this episode is. So is it The Fortune Teller?
And I was like, bingo! Clayton, what ships did you like growing up? / what ships that did not happen in the show do you think maybe could have been fun to see? Like Zutara.
I think Zutara is definitely better than Kang or whatever.
Yeah. Katang. Yeah.
I also think that Toph and Sokka could have been fun.
Period.
But I think that would be something. That would be more for Korra than anything, because you know, they're both.
That would have been such a gag, because we know that Toph had like two separate husbands or whatever. So yeah. That would have been like such a gag if she and Sokka had like one of those two children.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, I did really like Suki.
Yeah, Suki's great, but she isn't even in Korra at all, which is crazy.
Yeah, I liked. I did like Aang with May.
Wait, Zuko with May?
Sorry, yeah, Zuko.
Yeah,
not Aang.
Yeah, May's
Zuko with May. I thought that was cute. I mean, obviously it was a little weird at times, but I liked it.
I was a huge proponent of the Zuko and Sokka ship. I was just really upset. I just loved them together, even though there was such a dearth of any fan fiction for it until like
I guess I actually have not really like for like original Avatar. You don't see a whole lot of like queer shipping.
Not really. Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. But for Korra, which I cannot stop talking about because I love it so much, it's all queer shipping, baby.
Yeah, I feel like
great.
Bolin also could definitely be gay.
Oh yeah, Bolin like totally himbo, gay. Yeah.
Yeah. Bolin is one of my top tier Avatar
fucking
characters for sure. I love him.
Yeah. Last question: should this movie have been made?
No.
And if you were given $1 billion to make an Avatar movie and you knew it would make a lot of money, would you do it?
I feel like if I was given $1 billion to make an Avatar movie, I would just go to the guys that keep getting kicked off of their own fucking project and be like, "Hey, you made Avatar. I have $1 billion. You want to make a movie, kid?
Hey, you want to make a movie?"
I feel like with $1 billion, you could do some fun stuff with it.
$1 billion, yeah, you probably could. You could do a lot of fun stuff with $1 trillion.
Would I have to do? Would it have to be like The Last Airbender, like that?
I have no idea. No, it would have to be the whole show in one movie.
I guess I would just make a 4-hour movie.
Honestly, a 4-hour Avatar movie would be horrible, but I would still watch it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna watch the Netflix show, even if I think it shouldn't exist, because it's like I'm so torn for that one, because they're bringing in a lot of like Asian writers and actors and stuff, and so I feel like they will do the story justice, but just in general, I just hate any live action adaptations of animation. I would rather all those very talented people get to work on the animated stuff. You know? Yeah.
100%.
But I'll probably still watch it just because.
I have a similar thing coming up. There's One Piece live action coming up.
Oh yeah.
Which I have already decided that I like. Because
Period.
They put out the cast announcements for the first 5 Straw Hats, which we'll be meeting in this season. And they're just adorable, and I love them. So I like it already. Doesn't care if it's bad.
Slay.
We're getting up to time here, so Max, we have another little segment we do on here called Franchise Potential, where we talk about future sequels
that we want to see.
Max, we kind of handled 2 different areas. I don't even know if we need to get into what I think the sequel should be, because easy answer, it shouldn't.
Exactly.
But Max covers what we call the G-verse.
Yeah, kind of the G-Force side of things. We watched G-Force 2009 a while ago on this podcast, and we realized that it is a nearly perfect movie, even if in execution it's not anything special. The formula is such that it is just flawless. It is just such a formulaic, wonderful movie, well done, so satisfying to watch and fun, that I think G-Force, the cast, the crew, the media, all of it should be in every single movie franchise that we ever talk about. All of it. So in Avatar, I want to see an Avatar sequel where Avatar and the G-Force converge. In the Avatar world, we know that animals who are just one animal species are very rare. So the G-Force would likely be like gerbil rats, or something like that, or like hamster bears or something like that. And so all of these hamster bears are still spies, but I want to see like the next Avatar, in like 4 generations, because Korra takes place in like the 1920s ish kind of, And so if we get like a 1980s Avatar, Blade Runner, Cyberpunk, crossed with G-Force, so we get these spy gerbils and someone who can bend all 4 elements fighting this like AI mech controlled by Speckles the mole, I think it would... You're on your phone.
I'm handling something somewhat important right now.
No, I don't care. It would be amazing. I truly think that we would just get so much really cool stuff. We would get the first really cool... Well, I need like a really even queerer Avatar than Korra. We need like a trans Avatar. That would be fucking awesome. That would actually be awesome. Yeah. Oh, fuck, that'd be so cool. But that if they did that in the show, the backlash would be awful. But I feel like the right people would like it, but God. But that would be so cool. So we have this like cool like gender fuck queer Avatar fighting this AI monster in this 1980s cyberpunk Blade Runner world, teaming up with the G-Force and Zach Galifianakis. Darwin, the main G-Force guy, this is a tradition. He dies. He gets fucking like, javelined in the heart. No one notices. No one cares. He's gone. But Juarez, Blaster, Hurley, Mooch, Speckles, the crew, all of them, they get to fight alongside this cool Avatar and their crew.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. It'll be awesome.
Sick nasty. I guess with that, Max... How many avatars? How many flying lemurs? How many?
Out of 10.
How many little tiny little pebbles flying through the air out of 10 would you give this movie?
I would honestly probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
What? What are you talking about, man? This is the first time where you told me that, and I just can't handle it. What are you talking about?
Because the part when they were like bending on the wall, and there's like this beautiful music, and it's like panning around, and then there's the soot falling from the sky. It was really good. And then the part where he gets the Northern Water Tribe part was all pretty good to me.
Oh boy.
Honor!
For me, me, it's going to be a 2 out of 10.
All right. 3 out of 5, 1 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Yeah, and that's why he's the darling. I'm the critic. Wait, flip it and reverse it. So, guys, we hoped you enjoyed this extra special version of the podcast. I've been doing that a lot lately. I'm like, and it's like, I feel like even though it's not what I'm trying to do, it seems like I'm trying to come off as like quirky and like weird.
Uh-oh.
Be like, it's like an, and now I've done that on camera like 8 times. Should I have an OnlyFans?
Yes.
Because we need to move. We need the fucking money to move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're watching this on TikTok, give us a follow on Spotify.
Yes.
And YouTube. And Apple Podcasts. Leave a review.
Please.
We are going to start putting these gosh dang videos out really often.
Yeah.
But I think this one went off without a hitch.
I think so as well. And another thing we like to do on this podcast will be the last segment, but Max and I, well, how we get our movies, we kind of surprise each other. We kind of reach out and attack each other with these movies.
Naturally.
This one was kind of like a little side episode. This is our first video episode. This was a little special one. So I actually told Max the movie that we'll be watching next week, last week. But that's why you should stay tuned. We're going to be watching Titane.
Titane!
The movie about the lady that fuck a car.
Do you like Pixar's Cars? Well, do you like porn? These two are kind of like that in one.
Yes, that's right.
Do you like porn?
Honestly, I don't really watch a lot of porn. And with that, I've been Clayton Gentleman.
And I've been Maxim Foster.
And as always,
Stay critical, darling.